People often attribute communication to the number one factor where teammates struggle. But recently, I stopped telling students to calm. Here's why. If you don't know, I'm an Immortal 3 coach who's taught thousands of players and helped them gain hundreds of thousands of RR. I've also been on both sides of the spectrum, wanting to communicate everything to my team and wanting to communicate absolutely nothing. I will admit, without communication, many things tend to fail. Trust, understanding, teamwork, and marriages. That's why I used to tell every student to pre-round calm. I created this pre-round planning tool called Deal, which is used for you, but it's also for your teammates. But what I found the more I taught students is, although we're often told to communicate, communicating can be exhausting. Having to constantly try to talk to a team who doesn't try to listen, whether there's too much going on, they're watching a stream in the background, they turned off comms 5 games ago. It's exhausting. And if it was really important for me to teach it, I would. But I found out that you don't need to calm to be a great player. Occasionally, I review pro players or players who I think exceed a lot of expectations. And one of those players was Root. Root is a player who has climbed from a new account to Radiant many times. And after reviewing his VODs, I realized you don't need to calm to be a great player. When he was playing at the highest level, he was rarely communicating. There was really important stuff, and that important stuff he did end up communicating. Like if he wanted his teammate to use a piece of utility, of course you should ask for it. But here's the idea. Players can get wrapped up in their teammates rather easily when trying to communicate. They create this expectation that because they said something, teammates must listen. When watching Root, I realized he already had an idea in mind, and he was just seeing if his teammates would help him with that idea. For example, I want to push B main on Ascent. Hey Omen, can you blind my B main? Subtle things like that just to ensure it goes smoother. But if I were to estimate how many of the students I taught struggled with communication, it would be 95%. Everyone struggles with it. Unless you have been a part of some team or learned from the top players, it's very rare to have good communication. And there's just bigger fish to fry. Higher ranks struggle with mental, middle ranks struggle with decision making, and lower ranks struggle with mechanics. For that reason, I can't recommend to a lower rank to suddenly start improving their communication. And nowadays, there's only 2 scenarios I talk about communication with a student. One, when a student blames their teammates either for not doing something they wanted or not listening to them, because this is usually the way they communicated, them communicating something too late or too unclearly. There's times where my students communicate something to their team and my brain literally spins. I have no idea what they're asking their team to do. And the second situation is when they ask. If they want to learn communication, I will teach them communication. Now, I find something interesting from this. It raises the question, how important actually is communication? Do you need to hear your teammates to perform well, to understand what's going on? And is it really worth it for the negatives that come with it? Having your teammate talk in your ear, telling you how to play while they're dead. And part of me feels like most of this you can just find through the minimap. If there's a player, you should be able to see them there. But I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. And maybe if you guys want it, I'll try playing a comp game in Immortal lobbies with my voice chat turned off and see how it goes. Recently we did this with no abilities, and I'm not gonna lie, it was heckin' fun and we slammed, so. But while I'm here, I am a coach after all, and I know a select few of you are wondering, Coach Key, Spooky, Stinky, Slinky, how do I communicate effectively? I want to learn. I don't care. And to that I say, fine, you incessant little brat, I'll show you. Step 1. Agent. Hey, agent. Hello? Can you X, Y? X is the action. What do you want him to do? Swing off you, use a piece of ability, and Y, you'll never guess it, is the location. Can you swing off my contact heaven? Can you flash be mean? Omen, can you flash be main? Check, can you swing off me? If you're talking to the team, it's basically the same thing, but slightly different wordage because we're talking about because it's the English language. Team, do you want to? And you'll never guess it. X, Y. Team, do you want to fake B and go A? If you want to split it up, Jet, Sova, you guys want to go A? The rest of us will go B. We're going to fake site. When I tell you to go out B, go out B. Just get ready for it. You guys ready? Okay. Omen, flash my close. Be main. Let's get this. Let's go team. And life is beautiful and life is simple. And we're making statements without expectations. This is where we use our please and thank yous. We hate our team, but we need our team. So be a bit more nicer, and all that junk. Now, the most common rebuke I hear, and I personally relate, I used to be this player, is why should I mute my team? They calm important stuff. They're gonna calm something important. And now let me ask you this. When's the last time you had a teammate you thought you should mute calm something important? That is hysterical, right? I was this player for 2 years. I was like, no, I need to be okay with my teammates being toxic. I need to listen and work with them. And hell no, it's not worth it. It's an hour game being stuck for an hour of someone who is absolutely insufferable. It is not worth your time. I don't know who these players think they are. Like they're the shaman of Valorant and Plat Elo, telling you what to do, what you shouldn't do, how you should live your life. But the best thing you can always do is redirect the focus back on your game. The more energy you direct outwards, so if you have that teammate on your team, please mute them. If you haven't tried it before, especially, just try it. Do it for me, please. I was this player, I promise you. For the first 2, maybe 3 years of my Valorant career, I did not mute a soul. I let everyone exist in peace. I did not bother anyone. Recently, there was a toxic teammate coming at some random person on our team. They were telling our Clove, you don't smoke right. You're dying too early every round. And you know what? They were right. But goddammit, watch your tone, watch your attitude. I let it go a few times, but it was a consistent pattern. At the start of every round, this Reyna had another remark to make. And at one point I just said, yo Reyna, you can say whatever you want to say, but our Clove can do whatever the hell they want. And immediately after, the rest of the team slowly started to join in. Yo, Reyna, shut up. Stop talking. And even the Clove showed their appreciation. Unfortunately, the story doesn't end in a happy ending. This Reyna ended up taking their frustration at us directly. And when that didn't work, they went to all chat and started saying we were doing all these horrible things while they were calling us all these horrible slurs. And hey, people go through tough times. I hope you're doing okay, Reyna. This is a lesson to some people who experience this, who know what it's like to give a voice to the voiceless. If you experience someone else like their team, it is so rare for teammates to do this, and I think it would make such a big difference in the community. And for those very few people that are willing to listen to this message, listen closely. If you come across a player like this, if a teammate is being toxic to you or to someone else, you're allowed to do what you want to do. Gosh darn it, it's a video game. Your teammates are allowed to do what they want to do, but no one likes having that person in the ear, and these people in the ear, they never seem to shut up. It's like every round they get reminded how terrible they are at their game and they have to take it out on someone else. I don't know, I'm not a therapist. So I mentioned before, there's some bigger fish we can fry if we don't communicate. One of the most important things is the pre-round planning, is the deal method I made up. This is something that in those 30 seconds that they specifically give us to figure out what we're doing that round, we can use to figure out what we're doing this round. When I first started playing the game, I just followed my team and thought, what could I use to help assist take this space? Do I have an ult, a flash? What kind of economy round is it? What am I using to take this space? If it's mid-round and I notice my teammates over pushing into CT, which you will experience hundreds of thousands of times, okay, maybe not that many, but a lot of times, and you tell them not to push, hey, I've been that player, and I've also been the player who tells them not to, they will push. All right, people don't care, I don't care. So your best choice isn't to say, hey, don't do this, it's to go and do this with them. What I tell my students that do this is find the stupidest person on your team and play around them. Find the person on your team who you think is throwing the hardest and try going with them just one time. See what happens. And if you're that player pushing CT, please, we know your ego is huge. We know you're amazing at the game. Listen, you can get the kills, but then when you come to me and you say I'm hard stuck and inconsistent, don't be surprised when I tell you what you already know. You take stupid fights and you get stupid results. The second thing you can focus on, I think this is a weird one. I'm not sure if players will ever expect this, but your state of mind. If you notice you're the type of person to get caught up in your teammates and your teammates affect your state of mind, there's some level of control we're giving away to our teammates. So what you can do instead of communicating to your teammates is A, take a few deep breaths, okay? It's a video game. These guys are yapping. They'll be gone in 30 seconds. Put on some music. Relax a little, okay? Relax. It's going to leave you with a level-headed mind, which is really what makes the best Valorant players. What you can also do is invite your friend into the Discord call and complain to them the entire time and scream in their ear, and then mute your mic in Discord and scream out loud, and then unplug your mic and grab your pillow and scream into that until all the anger is out of your system. Let it flow through you, don't put up walls against it. Valorant has a lot of these beautiful lessons sprinkled in. I think it's because the game is so mentally involved. You have to be constantly thinking and evaluating and acting in split-second scenarios, and the time to kill in this game is so gosh darn low, except if you're still crouch brain in 2024. So if there's one thing I've learned recently, is to let go of the pressure you put on yourself. Valorant isn't an easy game. It's very competitive, it's very intense, it's very mentally intensive. It's a type of game that punishes you for making even the smallest mistake. Sometimes mistakes you don't even know exist. So if there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's to remember it's a process, and this process is a cycle. You're going to queue into games, you're going to find toxic teammates, you're going to find good teammates, you're going to feel like communicating some days. Some days you don't feel like talking at all. Some days you're going to play amazing, some days you're going to be bad, terrible. Gosh, you're so lucky I'm not watching you right now, because oh boy, I'm sure there's a lot to say. But recognize that process is happening, recognize the cycle. There will never be a day we don't have toxic teammates. Say whatever you want, why that may be, why that may not be, why you want that to be, but it's not possible, okay? We're humans. And the best thing you can do to someone who's acting a little inhumane is to treat them a little more human. And this heartfelt moment is the perfect time to plug my Ko-Fi. Hey, thank you to my supporters on Ko-Fi. You lovely, lovely folks. You make these videos possible. You let me experiment. You let me not take all the god-awful sponsors that exist for Valorant. And so if you're ever looking for some resources to improve, agent master classes, you want to come play with me and other community members, or just ask me some questions, consider checking out the Ko-Fi, okay? It's a beauty. There's something in there for everyone. Link is in the description. As always, I really appreciate you for watching this video. I hope it provided some value to you. Now it's my obligation to ask you to never watch another video again. Please don't like, comment, and subscribe. That would be terrible. I definitely don't read these comments and appreciate all your support. Thank you. Bye-bye.